They say love is blind, but sometimes it's just plain dumb. We've all dreamed of that perfect, movie-worthy proposal. You know the one. Breathtaking scenery, a heartfelt speech, and a moment so magical it feels like time stands still. But what happens when the pursuit of that perfect moment turns into a perfect disaster? When the grand gesture becomes a grand finale in the most tragic way possible? Today, we're diving into the dark side of romance, exploring stories where proposals went so terribly wrong. They ended not with a yes, but with a final, fatal goodbye. These aren't just accidents. They were cautionary tales about how the quest for an unforgettable proposal can lead to an outcome no one could ever forget, for all the wrong reasons. So buckle up, because we're about to look at some of the most shocking and, frankly, dumb ways people have died while trying to pop the question. Our first story takes us to the breathtaking, yet treacherous, coastlines that so many couples choose for their romantic milestones. Imagine this. A young couple, let's call them Alex and Sarah, hike to a dramatic cliffside overlooking the ocean at sunset. The view is spectacular, with waves crashing against the jagged rocks below. Alex, filled with adrenaline and love, decides this is the moment. He's planned everything, down to the hidden photographer ready to capture the magic. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a golden glow, Alex gets down on one knee. He pulls out the ring, the diamonds sparkling in the last rays of light. But here's where the dream turns into a nightmare. The ground on a cliff edge is rarely stable. It's often loose gravel and uneven rock. As Alex shifts his weight to present the ring, his foot slips on a patch of loose scree. It's a split-second mistake. One momentous, looking into the eyes of his future wife. The next, he's tumbling backward. Sarah watches in horror as he disappears over the edge. The romantic gasp she was about to let out turns into a scream of pure terror. By the time rescue teams could rappel down the treacherous cliff face, it was far too late. Alex's grand gesture, intended to be the beginning of their forever, became the abrupt and brutal end of his. The irony is sickening. A place chosen for its life-affirming beauty became the site of a senseless death, all because of a misplaced footstep in the name of a romantic cliché. This cliffside catastrophe is a chilling reminder that nature's beauty demands respect, and a dramatic backdrop isn't worth risking your life for. A proposal on solid ground would have led to a lifetime of memories, but this one only left a scar. Next, we plunge from the high cliffs into the deep blue sea for our second tale. The underwater blunder. Scuba diving proposals have become a trendy way for adventurous couples to get engaged. It's unique, it's memorable, and it's surrounded by the silent, beautiful world beneath the waves. For Mark and Jessica, both avid divers, it seemed like the perfect plan. They descended into a vibrant coral reef, surrounded by colorful fish and the serene quiet of the ocean. Mark had it all worked out. He had a laminated sign that read, "Will you marry me?" and a special ring box designed for underwater use. He gave Jessica the signal. She turned, and he presented the sign. Her eyes widened behind her mask, and she nodded enthusiastically, bubbles of joy escaping her regulator. This is where the perfect plan unraveled. Excited, Mark fumbled with the ring box. As they opened it, a slight current, or perhaps just his own trembling hands, caused the precious ring to slip from its velvet cushion. It began its slow, glittering descent into the abyss. Panic set in. Both of them, forgetting their training for a split second, instinctually dove after it. The ring disappeared into a deep, dark crevice in the coral. Mark, desperate to retrieve it, wedged his arm into the tight space, trying to reach it. In his panic, his movements became frantic. He started breathing too quickly, hyperventilating, and using up his air at an alarming rate. He became stuck. Jessica, seeing his distress, tried to help, but her own panic was rising. The silent, beautiful world turned into a claustrophobic trap. Mark, tangled and out of air, lost consciousness. Jessica, low on air herself, had to make the horrifying choice to surface for help, leaving him behind. Rescue divers eventually recovered his body, the engagement ring forever lost in the crevice beside him. What was meant to be a symbol of their shared passion became the instrument of a fatal obsession. This story is a grim lesson in how quickly things can go wrong when panic overrides training, especially in an environment as unforgiving as the deep ocean. From the depths of the sea, we now soar into the sky for our third and final story. The skydive slip-up. If proposing on a cliff or underwater isn't extreme enough for you, how about popping the question while plummeting toward the earth at 120 miles per hour? For daredevil couple Tom and Chloe, the tandem skydive proposal felt like the ultimate expression of their adventurous love. Tom had coordinated with the skydiving company. The plan was simple. After they jumped and the parachute deployed, during the slow, scenic float down, he would surprise Chloe with the ring. The jump itself went perfectly. The initial freefall was exhilarating. Then, the instructor deployed the main parachute. As they began their peaceful descent, taking in the panoramic views, Tom decided it was time. He reached into a specially secured pocket on his jumpsuit and pulled out the ring box. But managing a small box with clumsy, adrenaline-shaking hands while dangling thousands of feet in the air is a different ballgame. As he tried to open it, the box slipped. In a desperate, reflexive attempt to catch it, Tom flailed his arms wildly. In that split second of chaos, the small, hard-ring box was flung upward and got caught in the parachute lines, the very lines, keeping them safely afloat. The object, small as it was, created an imbalance and a tangle in the crucial suspension cords. The parachute, which had been perfectly canopy-shaped, began to deform. The instructor, strapped to Chloe, immediately recognized the grave danger and began fighting to correct it. But the entanglement was severe. The parachute started to collapse, sending them into an uncontrollable spin. What was a gentle descent became a terrifying high-speed spiral toward the ground. The emergency procedures were not enough to counteract the chaos caused by a tiny, misplaced ring box. Their dream proposal ended in a catastrophic impact. A moment of romantic ambition turned a thrilling sport into a fatal accident. This story highlights the absolute necessity of following safety protocols in extreme sports. Introducing a foreign object, especially during a critical phase like a parachute descent, is a risk that simply isn't worth taking. The sky is vast, but it offers no second chances. So there you have it, the cliffside catastrophe, the underwater blunder, and the skydive slip-up. 3 stories of love and loss, where the desire for a wow moment led to an oh no ending. It's a tragic irony, isn't it? The very act meant to start a life together ended up being the cause of its end. These tales serve as a stark warning. Love isn't about the grandest gesture or the most Instagrammable location. It's about building a future, and you can't do that if you're not around to see it. So, if you're planning to propose, maybe keep it simple. Keep it safe. Keep it on the ground. Your partner wants to marry you, not mourn you. A lifetime of happiness is worth more than a single, risky moment of drama. Let these stories be a reminder that sometimes the most romantic thing you can do is make sure you both live to tell the tale. Thanks for watching, and remember to think twice before you pop the question in a perilous place. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.